Chapter 6 1,000 Needles. With every passing day, I felt I was losing my footing. No matter what I did, no matter what direction I tried to turn, I either set off a minefield from my buried past, or I stupidly wandered into a pit of psychological quicksand. The pressures that increased with each new day became too much. I could rarely sleep, and when I did, I had nightmares that made me snap awake, covered in sweat. Because of my throat, I became too afraid to eat and began to forego food even more. Once a day, when I grabbed something to eat, I'd rush back home to nibble my prize, just in case my throat acted up. I couldn't swallow anymore. I was feeling despair, rejection, guilt, shame, and the constant dread of being so afraid. It was killing me. And it seemed that whenever I was able to capture a moment of stillness, a moment to clear my mind and push aside my issues, allow myself to relax, something would always come up. Feeling vulnerable and craving the sensation of wanting to be wanted, I immediately allow outside situations to take over my solace. The latest matter was with my former wife, Marcia. It started one afternoon when I was on the road during a free moment when, without thinking, I lowered my guard and phoned her. After exchanging salutations and telling me about her endless adventures and shopping that included securing a Cadillac sofa with fintails and blinking lights, Marcia announced that she hadn't felt this happy in years. My insides began to spool up. "Dave," Marcia began, "I'm not trying to run you down, but I no longer had to dread crawling out of bed worrying what's going to fall from the sky today. As your director, every day I'm on the phone. You have no idea. I'd get the sickos screaming at me, vomiting all over their disgusting filth, and how they demand that you instantly drop whatever you're doing, fly out to wherever, and live with them and save them from all their issues. Can you imagine how hard this is for me?" Her voice cracked through the strain. "I couldn't do it anymore, Dave. Fighting to justify to those crazy blood-sucking idiots you needing just 2 hours of sleep at night." Rolling on, Marcia continued. "Then, when you come home, you were more like some handyman taking care of the house, and then whoosh, you were gone. And when you had more than 2 days off in a row, it never failed, you would collapse. You wouldn't let me near you, and you certainly wouldn't go to the doctor." She paused as if to collect her thoughts. "I thought things would slow down, but they didn't, and it only got weirder. I tried, but I couldn't do it anymore. I just got tired of you flying off to rescue others and not being there for me. It's not the life for me, and it's not my idea of a marriage." Suddenly, my blood began to race. My mind flipped a switch. I thought, hey, I'm the one out there, working my tail off, driving at all hours, going without food and sleep for days. I'm not out power shopping or taking all those vacations every few weeks. You're not being fair. I screamed to myself, wanting to lash back at Marcia to force her to understand. "You ran the office. You knew, planned, and approved everything in my life." But as much as my ego got in the way, I knew she was right. Everything about me was beyond excessive. "Marcia, I am sorry. So sorry. I tried. I really did." I shook my head from side to side, trying to justify all my former actions. Above all, more than anything, I wanted to prove to Marcia. But before I could swim after Marcia's approval, she dropped the bomb. "Dave, I met someone." All I could do was stare at the phone. The more Marcia gently tried to explain her situation, the more I could feel myself becoming lost in an endless maze of fog. Finally, I coughed up a quick goodbye, and wanting Marcia to feel just an ounce of my pain, I snapped the phone shut before she could say anything else. I struggled to concentrate on breathing. My hand was coiled around the cell phone as if it were a boa constrictor. My grip was so tight I thought I'd snap the device in two. I slowly sat back up when I felt the oxygen return to my head. I felt like some dormant volcano. With every ounce of my being, I wanted to stand up and spew the lava of despair that I had kept buried below the surface for so long. When I finally calmed down, I knew I had nothing to be jealous about. Because of her erratic emotional roller coaster behavior, as well as her shopping binges, I had known for 4 years that Marcia was extremely unhappy and burnt out. As mad as I was at Marcia, at the end of the day, I only had myself to blame, because I felt betrayed and that my trust was constantly violated. Whenever the newest batches of Marcia's bills came past due, it was me who called it quits. A sense of abandonment took over. I didn't help when I received letters from Marcia that included reams of pictures showing off her new custom-made house, the cars that she somehow purchased every few months, the dogs dressed in various attire, and her elaborate trip to the Super Bowl. But when I saw photos of Marcia standing next to her immaculately groomed new beau, I nearly vomited in my mouth. I should have simply ripped them up, but I didn't. Instead, I'd spent hours dissecting the smallest nuance of every picture. Even though I fumed with each photograph, I never stopped my obsessive examinations. I knew I didn't have to look at my former wife's new life, and that I shouldn't even open the damned envelopes. But my longing to feel wanted overruled sensible logic, which overruled my pain. At last, I told myself I was worthy enough that Marcia, with her high-end new life, still even thought of me. In part because of my low self-esteem, my constant quest for approval, even the sickening thread of Marcia's correspondence helped to pull me through. I also gained the satisfaction that I had not totally contaminated someone else to me with my past and the issues that I carried with it. And if only for a moment, that in itself gave me a sense of peace.